Welcome to Kristianstad Karting Club, based in southern Sweden, just 90 minutes northeast of Denmark's Copenhagen airport. This fantastic CIK FIA Grade A listed circuit covers a total of 1,221 metres, comprising 16 turns, and is an intense technical challenge for all involved as we reach the halfway point of the 2019 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season. After an exciting season opener back in Adria in early June, the scene was set for what was going to be a dynamic twist in the tail for the championship fights as we head towards the season finale in Wackersdorf at the Pro Kart Raceland circuit in early September. Nevertheless, the title fights went on aplenty here in Sweden. Let's have a look back at the highlights of what transpired in Kristianstad. Those watching at home, pole position is on the left-hand side of your screen. The race director is keeping an eye on what's going to happen at the start. Do we go lights out? Yes, we do. And Van Rooft already to the outside, and he's been pushed down to fourth position. Meanwhile, Edquist has got the whole shot, and there's a great move there from Olli Pilka up the inside of Danny Van Dijk for second position, but they're side by side, heading down to the next corner. Pilka takes the inside line, Van Rooft goes with, so Van Dijk drops down from second to fourth in a matter of corners. But Edquist is leading on home soil. Van Rooft sends it up the inside of Pilka to retake second position. Van Dijk pounces on the Polish driver as well, and he's going to try and go for second. Pilka responds and gets past Van Dijk. This is great because this is now allowing Jules Castro from GKS right behind the trio that are battling over second position. What a pounce from Jules Castro up the inside of Danny Van Dijk. Also got Morris Shearing in the mix too. He's currently 6 behind, and we've got a penalty issued, and it's for the 236 and Marcel Sermach. 5-second penalty for pushing, because there are so many battles going on, especially down at the lower half of the top 10. As more changes, Charlie Verts up into 11th, Dan Ginchard now in 9th place. So the Brit definitely making some inroads. He started on 14th position. Van Rooft is there's been a big change of the lead. I didn't quite catch it, but Olli Pilka now leads from Mike Van Rooft to Schoenmakers. No, make that a change of position. The pair are going side by side whilst they're battling. Dan Ginchard's catching them up. And behind that, you've got the 243 of Dante de Pagny. Charlie Verts trying to hunt the Dutch driver down. The battle for the last position on the top 10. The gap now between Pilka and Edquist is extended to 0.731 of a second as the entire field starts streaming its way through the turn 1 right-hand sweeper here at Kristianstad half. That's 0.184, not too far off, but Edquist has it planted through turn 1 quite convincingly. As Morris Shearing now looking a little bit lonely as Edquist takes the lead from Pilka. The pole setter now back in the lead of this race. Pilka's trying to force the issue. This is going to allow Van Rooft to close up. He's doing so at a good rate of knots here. But Pilka now trying to force the pressure onto Vilgot Edquist, so the boot is on the other foot. The Polish driver's trying to get past the Swede as Van Rooft now is in the mix. This is going to be explosive at the front 3 of the field as Pilka now being hustled by Van Rooft. So 15 seconds on the clock. They're probably going to cross it with about 5 or so seconds to go as Van Rooft pounces on Pilka and gets past for second position. The final corner. There we go. Junior Max final number 1 completed, and all of a sudden on home soil it's Vilgot Edquist that takes the checkered flag from Sweden. Mike Van Rooft takes second position, having been in the trenches a little bit there. about to get underway. It's seconds out, final number 2 here in Kristianstad. The drivers anticipate the start. They enter into the tram lines. Do we go lights out in Junior Max Final 2? Yes. And so the race has pretty much been turned upside down and on its head right about now. This is really where things are going to get going in the race to Sarno for the grand finals this coming October in Sarno in Italy. But at the moment, Vilgot Edquist leads from Mike van Vrucht, Ollie Pilka. Then we've also got the 2:04 looks to be there. That's Lucas Schoenmakers from the Netherlands. No, he's actually ended up down in 2. Make that 5th position as just in front. The Brit Dan Ginchard has flown up the order already. As Schoenmakers and Schuring, that's Morris Schuring battling over 5th position. As Van Vrucht's going to try and go for the move now. He came out of the toe very early there, did the Dutch driver. Is he going to get the apex? No, Edquist takes it, and Pilka slingshots past the points leader very convincingly there. Now Ginchard's on the back bumper of Van Vrucht. This is really heating things up. But the quartet at the front of the field are not letting each other go by any stretch of the imagination. It is going to be wall to wall. As there we go, Van Vrucht goes for the move on Pilka. Does he make it past the Polish driver? He does. As Edquist takes a wider line going through one of the tighter S-bends here at Kristianstad. That's a very good call because he's carrying the momentum and then also shutting the door off firmly. Ginchard runs wide trying to overtake Pilka. We've had now a first penalty. Ollie Pilka's now not going to have a great run now because he's now got a 5-second penalty for pushing. Charlie Wirtz has had an absolute stormer of a race thus far. The young Austrian just 13. He's gone from 23rd and he's now in the points. He's in 13th, just behind South Africa's Leighton Forey, who's had some engine misfiring issues, I understand, this weekend. But it's not a case of if. Is it a case of when Mike van Vrucht is going to get past Vilgot Edquist to take the win? He's got he's got 90 seconds plus an additional lap to do so. He's looking for the move. He's gone for the move. He's got the lead. Edquist quickly mounts an attack, a counter-offensive. Towards the S-bend they go. Pilka's really now been coming along with them, but he's got a 5-second penalty. Edquist goes back past Van Vrucht, who instantly counter-attacks and retakes the lead from the Swede. That's a great job there. This is really going to be a case of what's going to happen. Pilka, he might be third on the road. He's going to be back 5 seconds at the end of this race. So Van Vrucht now with around a minute left, plus an additional lap. This is getting very, very racy at the front of the field. Van Vrucht is going to be hustled by both Edquist and Pilka. Pilka is quite clearly out of it, even though he thinks he's still on track position. Black and white warning flag for Mike van Vrucht there. They will, if that is for track limits, they'll get a couple of warnings before they get an instant penalty, as Van Vrucht gets very squirrely under the brakes there. The back end stepping out slightly as Pilka's trying to go past Edquist, and it's nearly 3 abreast through that main corner up on the other side of the road. Whoa, Pilka absolutely mugged the pair of them. Edquist up the inside of Van Vrucht to take second. Pilka really doesn't have any time to get a 5-second penalty back in his favour. But this will help his championship hopes no end. Van Vrucht absolutely got it stolen there from him by both Pilka and Edquist for Ollie Pilka. But I tell you what, post-race, the win will be Vilgot Edquist from Sweden. And the change has happened. Vilgot Edquist does the double on home soil here in Sweden. Do we go revs up, lights out? Yes, we do, and Turner gets the initial advantage. And I have to say that Frostbase pounced on Sjogren, as has I think maybe somebody else there too. So Sjogren already down into 4th position, but a bit of a tussle there. That was not what he wanted at all. So Matilda Olsson up into 5th. There's more positional changes, some being hung out to dry on the infield part. So let's see what happens. Herbauer goes for the lead and takes it from Charlie Turner, but Turner gets the switchback. It's side by side, nearly going down the main straightaway. Reese Hunter in the toe on Herbauer going into turn 1. Turner hangs on to the lead. That was great work from the Brits. but Hebert is really trying to have... Now the move has happened. Hebert has taken the lead from Turner. Reese Hunter, run on the back bumper of his countryman. Whoa, Turner found a gap there. Where did that one come from? It's nearly three abreast, a little bit further back. Also getting a little bit swallowed up there, as is Gazzo, who's a bit hung out to the outside there. Kai Hunter's now in this mix as well. This is a squabble for 8. This is the top 8. Maybe even make the top 9 if you include Philip Vava. We're close to completing as there it goes. The move has happened. Charlie Turner's lost out to Matilda Olsson for second place, but he is not giving up without a fight as the 52-522. As Olsson's gone for the lead. Has she got it? Has she made it sick? Yes! Olsson now up into the lead of this race, just ahead as Kai Hunter goes up the inside of Charlie Turner for third place. Other positional changes, Patrick Rundqvist and Lewis Gilbert up into 16th and 17th respectively. We've had another retirement, unfortunately, in the form of Teresa Babikova. Mario Sidler up into 30th past Marcus Radny. We've also had no other positional changes, but now the gap is really starting to extend. It was half a second last time around between Matilda Olsson and also Reese Hunter. Charlie Turner is now falling into the clutches of Philip Vava. Cesar Gazzo has got to close up and pass Andreas Hebert. This is not going to be easy because they're both teammates, but they're also both countrymen as well. With Cesar rocking the sort of Senna-esque tribute race helmet as it's side by side. I think I saw Lewis Gilbert do a great move up the inside of Victor Poulsen there. That is for 16th, as Patrick Rundqvist now makes it into the top 15. He's 15th behind Teddy Clinton in 14th and Conrad Hugo Jul Christensen. Axel Sarniala now up past Ilian Brunstils for 11th. Emily de Hoys now goes through into 9th place as Gazzo makes the move on Hebert. That's the move he's needed to do for quite a time, but we have time fast running out here in this first of two 14-minute Senior Max finals. Matilda Olsson's lead was just over 0.75 of a second. Let's see what it is now between her and Reese Hunter. 0.982. The gap is further extended. Axel Sarniala retakes the fastest lap of this race with a 52.214. More changes. Lewis Gilbert now behind Patrick Rundqvist, so the Dorai Diamond up into the top 15 and gets a point on the board. Cesar Gazzo takes that, as I said earlier, takes that position from Andreas Hebert. Axel Sarniala now behind Emily de Hoys, having taken the fastest lap of this race. But ladies and gentlemen, checkered flag is going to wave for not just one Swede, it's a second in succession as Matilda Olsson takes another win this season ahead of Reese Hunter. Kai Hunter makes it a brotherly 2-3. Tension is building, the anticipation rises against in one of the most very competitive classes we have in the Euro Trophy. Do we go lights out for 14 minutes? Yes, we go. Yes, we do. Charlie Turner trying to get a little bit of a wriggle on there. As Charlie Turner's up into third place, he's following Cesar Gazzo. So Gazzo really on the move right now. Olsson down into fourth. We've got a Brit at the front, and that is probably going to be Reese Hunter. So this is really, really spicing up things now in the second Senior Max final. My goodness, in terms of finals being won. She won 2 in Adria. She won the first final earlier on today. Now she's got a real opportunity to get a maximum score of 100 points come the end of this weekend on home soil here in Kristianstad. And in doing so, she takes the fastest lap of this race. Matilda Olsson really was under the cosh, so to speak. She has come fighting back as the driver that we know she is, and as Robin Knutsson's really having a fight. This is a great battle. Gazzo, Reese Hunter and Robin Knutsson all battling over what is effectively fourth on the road. This is allowing the top three to get away. There's more little touches here, and there's more contact. I think drivers are going to have to watch it. The 373 as the two KR Sport drivers of Robin Knutsson and Philip Vavra are squabbling. Oh my goodness, Emily de Hooy spins 180 degrees, having tapped the back bumper. That's either Knutsson or Vavra there that have just sent, and the Dutch driver now spins 180 degrees the wrong way, happening at the moment, but Matilda also continues to lead. Lewis Gilbert in second, Axel Sarniala in third, in fourth it's Reese Hunter, Cesar Gazot in fifth, Andres Herbert in sixth ahead of Philip Vavra, Robin Knutsson, Kai Hunter. So it looks like Knutsson might have been the one that got touched or got past, and then with Emily de Hooy, unfortunately Charlie Turner's now retired as a result of that contact. Probably the chassis or Olsson's really now going to have to go defensive if Sarniala takes at least another 3 to 4 tenths out of the Swede over the next lap or two. It could be a case that Axel Sarniala could squash that 100% success rate that Åsum has secured thus far in terms of final wins. We are just literally seconds away from the time expiring here in the second Senior Max final here at Kristianstad. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3:49's got a 5-second penalty. Simon Sjogren. 14 minutes now have expired. Axel Sarniala, if that fin is going to do anything, it's got to be on this lap. He's in the toe of Åsum, not quite close enough yet. Gap was 0.46, it's now 0.3. Åsum's just got around about 1,000 metres to go, with Sarniala very deep into the brakes, going into that chicane, heading towards the far part of the circuit. Åsum has got to hang on right now, as we've now got a penalty for the 3:49. That is Simon Sjogren for blocking. 5-second penalty issued by Race Control. So Sjogren really also being one of the others that haven't had a really good turn of luck. Emily de Hooy's 32nd, Albin Carlsson 33rd. But here we go, Axel Sarniala is right on the back bumper of Matilda Åsum. Could it be a drag race to the finish here in Kristianstad for the second Senior Max final? We're about to find out. Sarniala goes for the move. Åsum, will she switch it back? I don't think so. On the last corner, the checkered flag waves for Axel Sarniala from Finland, who pips Matilda Åsum by just 0.173 of a second. He waited until the dead last moment. Axel Sarniala breaks the Matilda Åsum winning streak here in 2019. So, trying to get the field slowed, as the drivers really need to get into formation pretty quickly. Let's see what happens. Do we go lights out in DD2 and DD2 Masters? Timer starts ticking away. I think it was a try there from Daniel Oberheuter to get past Slavomir Moransky going through turn one, but the defending DD2 Masters champion from last year not having any of it. 8 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock, plus an additional lap left to go here. As there's some great dicing here, and I see that the 451 Juuso Pantala going up the inside of Peter Bezel. Oh, forces the Czech driver a little bit wide. Home hero David Remy from Sweden in the Dan Holland 455. He's made great inroads as David Remy making the transition from Senior Max to DD2. So it shows that he has pace. The gap now between first and second is 3.2 seconds between Schiblak, who is now going over the hump as Alberti comes through the exit and just goes over the hump himself. So a clear gap that's going to be closer to 3.5 seconds next time around as we go into the final 3 minutes of this race. David Remy still is now, well, he's actually behind Jakob Bezel. So Bezel up into fourth place, Remy in fifth, Christian Sorensen just behind the Swede, and then just back from there you've got Andreas Fors and Juuso Pantala. Dionystis Libris, I'm just trying to see how much he's closing in. Well, he was actually a little bit slower. But the gap now is extended further between first and second. Sandra Schiblak leads Riccardo Alberti from Italy by over 4 seconds. What a job from the Belgian. He's the current defending B&L Karting Series DD2 champion. He's got a fight on his hands with Dionysius Liveris in that championship. But look at how close Ville Villelainen is to the back bumper of the Italian Riccardo Alberti on the final lap. It looks like Villelainen is going to strike very, very shortly. Where will he make the move? It won't be quite yet as they go through turn 5 and 6. The checkered flag is going to wave. It's 3 different winners from 3 different races. Sander Schiblak wins in Sweden. Second, who's it going to go to? Is it going to be a drag race between second and third? Not quite. Alberti hangs on ahead of Villelainen by just 0.080 of a second. Sander Schiblak will be on the left-hand side of your screens on pole position. Alberti, the Italian, alongside. Will we go lights out this time? Looks like we have done. Time has started ticking away. Alberti, well, Schiblak has pulled off already. That's a real disaster for the pole sitter. Not too sure what happened then. The car just went straight on. So Schiblak already out, and he hadn't even reached the apex of turn number 1. This means that we have a new leader, and the leader, I think, is going to be Ville Villelainen. He's ahead of Riccardo Alberti. David Remy up into 3rd place now. And that means Jakob Bezel will be in 4th position behind the Swede. So the 468 really getting a move on. This is obviously, she's on home soil too, along with David Remy. So 2 Swedes in the top 5. No, make that 3 with Andreas Fors, who's currently in 3rd position. But Remy is really trying to close the gap to Peter Bezel at the moment. 8 minutes, 3 seconds, plus 1 additional lap to go here in this last race of the weekend. And leading DD2 Masters, it is still Christoph Adams in 18th place. But Roberto Brzezowski, the Austrian from KSCA Sorry Austria, is trying to keep pace with the Belgian, and he's about a couple of car lengths behind. Bezel still leads. The gap between him and Remy is now extended. Dionysius Liveris shoots up the inside of Fors for 3rd place. What a great move from the Greek racer from Dames Racing. He's absolutely slingshotted past it with true perfection there. But Madeleine Hadney really is clearly in the fight for a top 3 finish. She's got a ringside seat behind Liveris and Fors right now. Just behind them, you've got Ville Villelainen, who's started to recover. He's ahead of the likes of Jan Schwitter. He's trying to go up the inside. Jusso Pantala tries to pounce on Jan Schwitter, pushes the Swiss driver wide, and Schwitter loses out 2 places. And we have had a penalty issued. Jusso Pantala again incurs the wrath of the stewards and race control. A 5-second penalty for forcing another driver off the track. So Jusso Pantala will drop down from 5th position, and that will drop him all the way down out of the top 15 overall. That'll promote Dionysius Liveris up into 5th position. So 22 seconds plus an additional lap remaining in this last final of the weekend here in Kristianstad. And what a showing for the likes of Peter Bezel, David Remy. It's good to see the likes of Dionysius Liveris fighting in the top 6, as long as Madeleine Hadney. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are fast approaching the time to expire for the final time this weekend. More side-by-side action with Jan Schwitter being involved. That's it. Time's up. We're done for the weekend, apart from 1 more lap. Here we go. Peter Bezel will come across the start-finish line for the penultimate time before he sees the checkered flag. Gap between him and David Remy. Remy won't have enough time to catch up to him. It's just 0.887 of a second. So Andreas Fors, Jusso Pantala, Dionysius Liveris, Madeleine Hadney, Ville Villelainen, Florian Breitenbach now gets up to 8th, which will probably put him 7th at the end of proceedings. Goes ahead of Christian Sorensen with Piotr Wisnicki now down in 10th position. Matthias Dahl has just got past Jan Schwitter for position. That is for 11th place. Riccardo Alberti and Sander Schiblak have unfortunately retired. Still 23 competitors running here at the circuit. Michael Becker running last in the DD2 Masters classification, 4th position, but will be in front of Daniel Oberheuter from Austria. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Checkered flag waves for the final time for the Czech Republic's very own Peter Bezel. Points 1 finger in the air, 1 hand off the steering wheel. Finishes 0.919 ahead of David Remy.